This is the Cubs Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Cubs Postcast here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Joe George here with you on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Joe George Radio. The Cubs lose 3-1. We'll get into all that right now. Did you know Fire TV is also on Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller is required. So the Cubs lose 3-1. That's a frustrating game. That is a frustrating loss for the Cubs. Jameson Taillon was absolutely fantastic in this game. Great pitching duel, really on both sides. Aaron Nola had not been good this entire season, pretty much. He had a 6+ ERA coming into the game, and Taillon and him, they battled. And this is a frustrating loss in this game and this series. And we're going to get right into it today, our turning point of today's game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, so we have to look at just Julian Merryweather here, right? It's really the only option for the turning point of the game. He couldn't find the strike zone. Walk. Deep counts, walking multiple guys. I mean, that inning could have been a total disaster. The fact that the Phillies only scored 2 runs and the Cubs had a chance in the bottom of the 10th is frankly a miracle because he couldn't find the strike zone at all. I mean, look at the way the 10th inning starts right away. It's a walk. So Merryweather can't find the zone. At one point, right before the bases loaded, he had a 3-0 count. He got back to 3-2, and then there was the walk. Alex Boehm hits the sac fly. It's 2-1 Phillies. You get first and third, and then Rojas does this bunt. That makes no sense from the baseball perspective, and the Cubs get it out at home plate. Okay, great. 2 outs, runner at first and second, no big deal. Cubs down 2-1, totally fine. They're going to be fine. Just got to get one more guy out, and this thing was nearly a disaster. He could have got out of it. Instead, a 4-pitch walk to Stotts, and the bases are loaded again. And then you get Trey Turner to ground out to third base. Except for that Brujan pats it, doesn't rush it, and a very fast player is running down the first baseline. He's safe. It's 3-1 Phillies. Thielbar comes in, dominates Bryce Harper, but it doesn't matter. The Cubs are down to 3-1, and they do nothing with the bats in the bottom of the 10th. It's frustrating because, you can't walk guys. It feels like the Cubs have all their if you think about their losses this season, I feel like at least half of them, it has come down to walks, where either these teams, when they're putting up big numbers on the Cubs and they're just walking, the bullpen or the starters are walking guys and they're taking advantage, or tonight's example where Merryweather just can't find the zone at all in any situation. And it's hard to blame a loss on one guy when your offense did nothing in the last 2 games of this series. Aaron Nola, again, 6+ ERA coming into this game, and he dominated the Chicago Cubs for 7 innings in this one. So the offense has to take blame here as well in this loss, but ultimately, it really comes down to what happened in the 10th inning, and that's the fact that Merryweather couldn't find the zone. So that's the turning point of this game. Now, look, there's a lot of other stuff. Again, Brujan, that play's tough. I don't know why he's out there because you've got 2 days in a row where, John Birdie's playing really well at third base. He's getting multiple hits in the game, and then he's not in the lineup today. And I get you want to give guys days off, whatever, but the Cubs are off tomorrow. He's playing good third base, so why is he not out there? He's at least played competently, offensively and defensively, as he's been the starting third baseman on this team for only a handful of games. It hasn't been a big sample size. That's really tough for Brujan there. That's inexperience. That's the lack of the front office going out and getting a veteran third baseman, and Matt Shaw not being able to emerge into the star that you wanted him to be immediately and having to send him down. That's the result of the indecision and then the ineffectiveness of Shaw that we saw in this game. And again, if Merryweather's not walking guys, maybe the Cubs do win this game in 11 innings or something like that. But you just can't give a team like the Philadelphia Phillies, who, yes, they were struggling. They lost 5 straight games, including the game on Friday night against the Cubs. They had heartbreaking losses to the Mets coming into the series, and they've been struggling, but that's a really good baseball team at the end of the day. We know the Philadelphia Phillies are going to be very good. If they don't win the division because the Mets run away with it, they're going to be a wild card team, and they're going to make noise in the playoffs. It's essentially the same team that went to the World Series a couple years ago with the addition of Jesus Luzardo, who the Cubs could have had again. but they didn't make that move. So the word for me is frustrating. That's really the only way I can really define this game and this series, because they should have won it. They should have beat the Philadelphia Phillies. And, they've played really well so far, really good so far this season. They haven't been perfect. They've made a lot of mistakes. But this is one series that I think series lost this year, this one, the Padres series and the Dodgers against the Dodgers in Japan, this is the most frustrating of them, because this is a team that's reeling and a team that just you could not take advantage of, and specifically because their pitching's been a mess. And, it's not just their lineup that's been a problem, but their pitching's been a mess. And the Cubs lineup was largely ineffective in this game. I mean, they only ended up with 3 hits in a baseball game. It's really challenging to win games when you only get 3 hits, and one of them was a miracle. It was one of those Wrigley Field bloopers that really, yes, you get full credit for a hit, but if we're being honest, it almost doesn't count. And because it should not have happened. Nico should not have been safe on that play. But so the offense is obviously largely to blame for this one, because of how ineffective they were and because they didn't do anything, just not getting guys on base. We saw Kyle Tucker only for the 3rd time this season not get on base. We saw Ian Happ go 0-4. Suzuki went 0-4. I mean, those are the top 3 guys in your lineup, and they would combine 0-12. You're not going to beat a good team like the Phillies and normally a very good pitcher in Aaron Nola if none of those guys can get a hit. And they showed the chart during the game. He obviously wasn't throwing anything in the middle of the zone, was doing a really good job. The umpire tonight seems to be excellent at his job for the most part. Couple calls I disagree with, but largely he was on the money. Anything that was close to the strike zone, he was getting correctly. But they just didn't do anything. Michael Busch doesn't get a hit. Dansby Swanson continues to just be wretched. I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse for Dansby. Every time he has a game that feels like, hey, maybe this is the one that turns it around, he just kind of reverses course and cannot get it done there. So it's very, very frustrating, this game. Let's see, a couple questions here. Ryan says, Joe, Craig Counsell has no emotion. My take. Yes, he's very stoic. I think it's the nicest way to put it. He does not go out there and scream at things, at frustrating plays. Even in the challenges are very stoic in the way he handles them. But yeah, he's just not a very emotional guy. It was like that in Milwaukee too. So not a big deal for me either way. My biggest question with Craig Counsell is, think about it. Merryweather has to face 3 guys. When he couldn't find the zone, you probably should have got someone else up in the bullpen immediately, honestly. Should have got him up there right away, just as a backup plan. And just even if it's Steelbar coming in a little bit earlier, or someone else that could have come into the game. Or maybe put Ryan Presley back out there, who I know he hasn't pitched in a week because of the knee drainage, and there hasn't been a save situation. But not having someone to take Merryweather out earlier because he couldn't find the strike zone is really the only thing for this one I would question. Seems like there's a lack of urgency there from Craig Counsell in the moment, or just he trusts his guys, and tonight it bit him in the rear because Julian Merryweather could just not get it done there in the 10th inning. All right, we'll take a break. Talk about the 2 positives from this game, other questions as well, and just overall this series loss and what's next for the Chicago Cubs. That's all coming up next here on the Locked On Cubs postcast on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. You can do parlays, whether it's same-game parlays or in-game parlays. Anything you want to do, you can do very easily on FanDuel. Plus, you can always look at things from 3-pointers to steals to assists. Just the overs, unders, and the money line are not always your option. Anything you want to use on FanDuel, you can easily access. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Today's show also brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing better than catching an MLB game live, the crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of the ballpark food. And if you're looking to go last minute, Gametime makes getting tickets easier than ever. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On, and with last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as Gametime gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. I'm going to the day game on May 7th against the Giants, and we use Gametime and this promo code I'm going to tell you about here to get our tickets for that game. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. The terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, let's talk about the positives here very quickly. Couple things I would say in this game that stand out. First one, again, let's talk about Jameson Taillon here just for a couple minutes. His season's obviously been a little bit up and down for the Cubs so far. He's had some good starts, some starts that leave you a lot to be desired, I would say. But today he was fantastic. 7 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, only struck out 2 guys in this game, was getting the fly ball out constantly. That was what he was using, using that outfield that the Cubs have to his advantage there. That's all the skill out there. Like, you can be a fly ball pitcher and have a ton of success with, Kyle Tucker, PCA, and Ian Happ behind you. So he gets his 1,000th career strikeout in this one. It was the first one he had. He came in with 999, but he was fantastic in this game. And that shouldn't be lost in the loss because he was so good. So that's the biggest positive, I would say, out of today's game was what Jameson Taillon did on the mound for the Cubs. That continues to be a strength for this team. I would say it's the starting pitching largely. It's not the number one strength, but if you're going to power rank them where they're at, it's probably the second or third strength so far this year. It's been pretty solid so far. So very good start from Jameson Taillon. Nico Hoerner also is the other positive. 2 fantastic plays in this game. The first one was a really great diving play. And the second one, though, where he knocks it down, he gets it, underhands to second base. They get the double play. So great day for Nico Hoerner at second base. Obviously, we know he's Gold Glove caliber. And you need that. The Cubs are built on defense. They're built very fundamentally different than a lot of way baseball teams have been built. They're going to pride themselves on defense. They're going to pride themselves on usually walks. Didn't get him tonight. Stealing bases and really being able to play small ball and good defense. Also with having a lot of guys that can hit for power. So that's the other one. And Pete Crow-Armstrong, again, just continues to have moments where he does things that, constantly, I would say, impress you. 1 for 3 today with the only Cubs RBI in this one. And he did a great job in the in-game interview too, which I don't really enjoy. I think a lot of people that watch this show or in general don't, that when they watch Sunday Night Baseball, I don't love it. It always just makes me stressed out when a guy is being interviewed and the plays happening in front of him, where he just has to do anything. Don't love that, but he did a good job in there as well. So yeah, that was a frustrating one. Ryan says you can't steal bases when you're not getting guys on base. Yes, for sure. Luis says Dansby's glove is saving him right now. So is his contract. That's also saving him right now, because if he did not have that contract, there would be much bigger conversations that we could have about what the Cubs could do and should do at shortstop. But right now, it's just he's going through it. And I said this after yesterday's postcast show, or during yesterday's postcast show. I'll say that again now. He needs to move down the order. There's no question about it. He's coming up too often with runners in scoring position. He should be batting 8th or 9th in this lineup. And Pete Crow-Armstrong, Nico Hoerner should be moving up because, Bush, Suzuki, Tucker, Happ, largely this season are getting on base. And Dansby Swanson is just not getting the job done. And you can't remove him. So move him down. It's not that hard. They need to move him down, and they need to do it very quickly. I don't understand why it's taken so long. Just do it. It seems so simple. I don't know what Craig Counsell's hesitation is, but because there's no real argument for it. The only argument is that, the baseball is going to find you anyway. So it just means that Nico and Pete Crow-Armstrong are going to get on in front of him, and he's not going to bring them home either. Sure. But if Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki and Michael Bush are on, or Ian Happ are on, then let those guys bring him home, not Dansby Swanson striking out, because it's not like it's bad luck. At the beginning of the season, it was bad luck. He's just swinging at everything right now. I mean, the high fastball, he will not stop swinging at, and constantly. And he's swinging out of his helmet like he did in Saturday's game. He just lost at the plate. This torpedo bat thing, the early returns seemed very positive. When he was hitting home runs early in the season, I said maybe it's just a confidence booster, a placebo effect kind of a thing. Well, that confidence has been shot, and he is just cannot do anything at the plate. So it's frustrating, whether double plays, strikeouts, he's just constantly not getting it done for the Cubs. And again, you can't sit here today and blame this entire loss on Julian Merryweather for walking guys and for Dansby Swanson for having an 0 for day when the best guys in your lineup went 0 for 12 and really 0 for 15 if you include Michael Busch. Like 1 through 4, they just did absolutely nothing in this game. So very frustrating loss for the Cubs. Now look, the positives out of this, besides just the individual stuff, the Cubs have had the toughest schedule in baseball. They're 17-12. Their schedule is going to get much easier here coming up very soon, starting with this next series against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are a fine baseball team, but they're not anything special. But you got to get back on track here. You got a 3-game series that will cap off on Thursday with the 11:35 in the morning game with Paul Skeens on the mound, which I know I'm not supposed to say this. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Paul Skeens pitch. I hope the Cubs get to him, but he is entertainment television for me right now. One of the guys in baseball like that makes me interested in a team is when he's on the mound. But the Cubs got to get back on track here against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The lineup needs to get going because there's been a lot of times where, yes, it's the best lineup in baseball, but these last 2 games just didn't do a lot. So get back on track versus the Pirates. Don't let anything cute happen here in the division early on. Just get back, at least win this next series 2 out of 3. The Cubs not desperately need it, but we need it. You know, you got to win this series coming up because they are the better team than the Pittsburgh Pirates for sure. All right, that will do it for us. Remind you can catch these postcast shows live after every single game. For the most part, we'll have a couple days off coming up here in May, but we're live after every single game. Plus, Matt and Sam, their 5-day-a-week daily podcast as well. Sam also continues to lose doing these live watch-alongs. We might need to have a conversation with him about those because he keeps losing. So not sure if they can keep doing this one as well. But that will do it for us. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time. Go Cubbies, and peace.